I had to retire from the game in 2003 due to a knee injury.
Yeah.
I
Let's
had
talk a little bit about that though.
Mo Vaughn was an absolute powerhouse on the baseball field, a true legend in the making. Unfortunately, injuries seemed to follow him like a shadow, cutting his career shorter than we all hoped. Moreover, his baseball glory was overshadowed by his mention in the Mitchell Report. Before we dive in any further, please don't forget to subscribe. On December 13, 2007, everything changed when the Mitchell Report, led by Senator George J. Mitchell, dropped a bombshell. Mo Vaughn was allegedly involved in purchasing steroids and other performance-enhancing drugs from Kirk Radomski. Radomski had become a pivotal figure in the investigation, claiming he personally delivered these drugs to Vaughn. To back up his allegations, Radomski produced 3 checks from Vaughn, one for $2,200 and 2 for $3,200. One of those bigger checks was dated June 1, 2001, and the other June 19, 2001. According to Radomski, those larger amounts were for 2 kits of HGH, while the smaller check covered 1.5 kits. But that's not all. Federal agents had seized Radomski's address book, and guess what? Vaughn's name, address, and phone number were right there, linking him directly to the scandal. It's said that Vaughn's trainer had even recommended HGH to help him bounce back from the injuries that had plagued his career. When all these allegations came to light, Mitchell reached out to Vaughn, offering him a chance to meet and discuss the situation. It was an opportunity to clear the air, but Vaughn never set up that meeting. So without a response from him, the accusations lingered, leaving a heavy cloud of doubt over his legacy. It's such a complicated story, isn't it? In July 1995, Mo Vaughn found himself in a bit of a mess off the field. After getting into a fight at a Boston nightclub, he ended up with an eye injury that forced him to sit out for 2 games. Thankfully, there were no arrests or charges related to the incident, but it was just a glimpse of the ups and downs to come. Fast forward to January 1998, and things took a more serious turn. Vaughn was arrested for drunk driving after crashing into a disabled car parked on the side of the road in Norwood, Massachusetts. Reports from that night indicated he struggled with field sobriety tests, which made everything even more complicated. But in March, after a jury trial, he was acquitted of the charges, allowing him to put that legal trouble behind him. Throughout his career, Vaughn faced a series of injuries that kept him from reaching his full potential. He even had to undergo arthroscopic surgery to repair torn cartilage in his knee, sidelining him for a big chunk of the season. Just when he thought he was on the mend, he slipped and twisted his ankle walking down visitors' steps, which became a nagging issue that haunted him for the rest of his career. Despite all these setbacks, whenever Vaughn was on the field, he still showed that incredible power at the plate. But the injuries kept him from being consistently available, which was so frustrating for fans. Things took a turn for the worse when he missed the entire 2001 season due to a ruptured bicep. What a devastating blow. Eventually, he was traded to the New York Mets, but even there, injuries continued to plague him. His time on the field was sporadic over the next couple of seasons, and it was clear that the game was taking its toll. By 2004, after years of battling one injury after another, his doctors finally advised him to retire. So Vaughn hung up his cleats for good, leaving behind a career filled with what-ifs. Fans couldn't help but wonder what heights he might have reached if he could have stayed healthy. It's a bittersweet story for sure. Vaughn's journey to baseball stardom kicked off at Seton Hall, where he played under head coach Mike Shepard. And let me tell you, he was nothing short of dominant. He set a school record for home runs, blasting an impressive 28 in just one season. Over his 3 years there, Vaughn racked up a jaw-dropping 57 home runs and 218 RBIs. Both still stand as team records today. But he wasn't the only future star on that Seton Hall squad. He shared the field with some incredible talent, including 7-time All-Star and Hall of Famer Craig Biggio, his future Red Sox teammate John Valentin, and pitcher Kevin Morton. In 1987, Vaughn truly shone, leading the Pirates to a Big East championship and earning the Jack Kaiser Award for MVP of the conference tournament. His clutch hitting and leadership were key in that title run, really solidifying his status as one of the best players in college baseball. But it didn't stop there. Vaughn spent 2 summers playing for the Wareham Gatemen in the Cape Cod Baseball League, where he continued to make a name for himself. His stellar performances earned him a spot in the inaugural class of the CCBL Hall of Fame in 2000. Pretty impressive, right? At Seton Hall, Vaughn also picked up the nickname Hit Dog from his brothers in the Omega Psi Phi fraternity. It's a fitting tribute to his power at the plate and that larger-than-life personality he brought both on and off the field. Talk about a legendary start to an incredible career. Vaughn made his big league debut with the Boston Red Sox in 1991, but it was in 1993 that he really became the heart of their lineup. That year, he put up some impressive numbers, 29 home runs and 101 RBIs. However, it was in 1995 that he truly solidified his reputation as one of the most feared hitters in the American League. In 1995, Vaughn blasted 39 home runs, racked up 126 RBIs, and boasted a solid .300 batting average. He even showed off some unexpected speed, stealing 11 bases, a rare feat for a power hitter. His incredible performance helped carry the Red Sox to the playoffs, although they fell short against the Cleveland Indians in the American League Division Series. Still, his efforts earned him the prestigious American League MVP award, cementing his status as the league's best player that season. But Vaughn wasn't done yet. His 1996 season was nothing short of legendary. He played in 161 games, hit a career-high 44 home runs, and drove in 143 RBIs while batting an impressive .326. He collected 207 hits and scored 118 runs, proving he was an all-around offensive powerhouse. One of his standout moments came on September 24, 1996, when he crushed 3 home runs against the Orioles, going 4 for 5 with 5 RBIs in a thrilling 13-8 win. And if that wasn't enough, on May 30, 1997, he had another incredible game against the Yankees, going 4 for 4 and hitting 3 solo homers in a 10-4 victory. Talk about clutch. In 1997, Major League Baseball retired Jackie Robinson's number 42 across the league, honoring his groundbreaking legacy. But Vaughn was one of the few players allowed to continue wearing that number for the rest of his career, a testament to both his skill and the respect he commanded in the game. Vaughn's dominance continued through the next few seasons. From 1996 to 1998, he batted .315 or higher each year, averaging 40 home runs and 118 RBIs. His consistency made him one of the most dangerous hitters in baseball. Sadly, despite all his individual success, the Red Sox once again fell short in the playoffs, losing to the Cleveland Indians in the 1998 AL Division Series. Vaughn still made his mark, hitting 2 home runs and driving in 7 runs in the first game of that series. What really set Vaughn apart was his intimidating presence at the plate. He had this signature stance where he crowded the plate so much that his front elbow often seemed to hover right inside the strike zone. This aggressive approach made pitchers nervous, forcing them to throw outside pitches and giving Vaughn the upper hand. It was a strategy that worked wonders, making him a nightmare for opposing pitchers and a cornerstone of the Red Sox offense. What a thrilling time to watch him play. Vaughn was more than just a powerhouse on the field. His big personality and dedication to charity work made him a beloved figure in Boston. Fans adored him not just for his skills, but also for his contributions off the field. In the Red Sox clubhouse, his leadership was undeniable. But it wasn't all smooth sailing for Vaughn. He had a rocky relationship with Red Sox management and the local media, particularly with Boston Globe sports columnist Will McDonough and general manager Dan Duquette. Vaughn was never one to hold back, and as a vocal clubhouse leader, he often aired his frustrations, openly claiming that the Red Sox administration didn't want him around. Things got a bit messier after a few off-field incidents, which only deepened the rift with the front office and added to the tension between Vaughn and the team's management. Despite all the drama behind the scenes, Vaughn kept delivering on the field. One of his most unforgettable moments came on opening day in 1998 at Fenway Park. In a thrilling finish, he hit a walk-off grand slam in the 9th inning against the Seattle Mariners, sending Red Sox fans into a frenzy. What a way to start the season. That year, Vaughn teamed up with shortstop Nomar Garcia-Parra to create a formidable duo in the lineup. Together, they combined for an impressive 75 home runs, making them one of the most feared pairings in baseball. Sadly, 1998 turned out to be Vaughn's last season in Boston. Despite his strong performance, which helped lead the Red Sox to the playoffs, they were knocked out in the first round by the Cleveland Indians. When the season wrapped up, Vaughn became a free agent, and it didn't take long for other teams to come knocking. Almost immediately, he signed a massive 6-year, $80 million deal with the Anaheim Angels, the highest contract in baseball at the time. It marked the end of an era in Boston, leaving behind a complex legacy of greatness mixed with controversy. It's amazing to think about everything he accomplished in such a short time. Vaughn had some solid years with the Anaheim Angels, hitting over 30 home runs and driving in more than 100 RBIs in both 1999 and 2000. But unfortunately, his tenure there was overshadowed by injuries. In 1999, he was battling through health issues, and by 2001, he missed the entire season. His career with the Angels kicked off with some bad luck right from the start. On his very first play during his debut game, Vaughn took a tumble down the visitors' dugout steps and badly sprained his ankle. Talk about a rough start. That injury lingered, but even with those setbacks, Vaughn was still seen as a reliable middle-of-the-lineup hitter. However, before the 2002 season, the Angels decided to move on and traded him to the New York Mets on December 27, 2001, in exchange for pitcher Kevin Appier. But Vaughn's departure from Anaheim wasn't exactly quiet. After the trade, Angels closer Troy Percival publicly took a shot at Vaughn's leadership, saying, "We may miss Mo's bat, but we won't miss his leadership. Darren Erstad is our leader." Ouch! That comment really hit a nerve with Vaughn, who usually kept his cool. But this time, he didn't hold back, firing back with a profanity-laced rant. "They ain't got no flags hanging at friggin' Edison Field, so the hell with them." You could feel the frustration. Ironically, the very next year after Vaughn left, the Angels reached and won the World Series, hoisting their first championship flag. It was a bitter pill for Vaughn and many fans to swallow, adding a tough note to his time in Anaheim. His raw talent was never in question, but injuries and off-field drama left a lot of what-ifs hanging over his time with the Angels. When Mo Vaughn joined the New York Mets, expectations were high. He was expected to be a major spark in a revamped lineup that included new arrivals like Roger Cedeno, Jeremy Burnitz, and Roberto Alomar. The team was buzzing with excitement, but Vaughn's start in 2002 didn't go quite as planned. Early on, he struggled at the plate and was heavily criticized by the local media and sports talk radio for being out of shape. Weighing in at 268 pounds during his first season in New York, the scrutiny added even more pressure on him. Still, Vaughn had some memorable moments in a Mets uniform. One highlight came on April 3rd when he hit his 300th career home run against Pittsburgh Pirates pitcher Kip Wells, a major milestone in his career. Then on June 16th, he really came through in the clutch, hitting a dramatic game-winning 3-run home run in the 8th inning that secured a thrilling 3-2 victory over the Yankees in a Subway Series game. The fans were going wild. Just 10 days later, he delivered one of the most jaw-dropping moments of his Mets career, smashing a 505-foot home run at Shea Stadium that hit the Bud sign on the scoreboard. That was a blast fans wouldn't soon forget. By the end of the season, he finished with 26 home runs and 72 RBIs. Solid numbers, but not quite what everyone had hoped for. Unfortunately, 2003 took a tough turn for Vaughn. He played for less than a month before his knee problems, which had been a nagging issue throughout his career, flared up again. This time, the injury was severe enough to sideline him for the rest of the season. In January 2004, Vaughn announced that his knee issues were too significant to allow him to play in the upcoming season. While his agent made it clear that Vaughn wasn't officially retiring, he himself admitted that it was highly unlikely he'd ever play again. At the time of his unofficial retirement, Vaughn held a unique distinction. He was one of the last 2 players in Major League Baseball still wearing the iconic number 42, which had been retired league-wide in honor of Jackie Robinson. He was the last position player to wear that number, with only Mariano Rivera, who wouldn't retire until 2013, left after him. Vaughn's career was filled with highlights, but it ended with a sense of unfinished business. Injuries consistently derailed what could have been an even greater legacy. Vaughn is well remembered not just for his powerful bat, but also for his big heart and commitment to giving back to the community. Throughout his career, he dedicated a significant amount of time and resources to various charitable endeavors, showing that he believed in using his platform for good. One of his most notable initiatives is the Vaughan Foundation, which he started to support underprivileged youth through education, sports, and mentorship programs. Vaughn's foundation focuses on providing scholarships and opportunities for young people, encouraging them to chase their dreams and build brighter futures. He also got involved in numerous events and fundraisers aimed at raising awareness for various causes, including health and wellness initiatives. His efforts have left a lasting impact on many lives, proving just how important he felt it was to make a positive difference in the community. On the field, Vaughn made his mark over a 12-season career, playing in 1,512 games. He finished with a batting average of .293, racking up 1,620 hits out of 5,532 at-bats. He scored 861 runs, smacked 270 doubles, and launched 328 home runs, while driving in a remarkable 1,064 RBIs. Not to mention, he drew 725 walks, giving him an on-base percentage of .383 and a slugging percentage of .523. Vaughn was especially consistent during his prime, boasting 5 straight seasons with a batting average over .300 from 1994 to 1998. In the postseason, he played in 7 games, hitting .226 with 7 hits and 31 at-bats, including 4 runs, 2 home runs, and 7 RBIs. Defensively, he was solid as a first baseman, finishing with an impressive career fielding percentage of .988. Vaughn's contributions to the game didn't go unnoticed. He was inducted into the Boston Red Sox Hall of Fame in 2008, celebrating his significant impact during his time with the team. That was a huge moment for him. He became eligible for the National Baseball Hall of Fame in 2009, and while that was an exciting milestone, he needed 75% of the votes to get in. Sadly, he only received 1.1% of the votes, which meant he dropped off the ballot right away. It was a tough blow for Vaughn, especially after such a remarkable career filled with highs and lows. But his legacy as both a player and a community leader continues to shine. Well, that brings us to the end of today's video. Make sure to subscribe to Baseball Icons so that you never miss an update.